Be honest. How many times have you been, stuck in a rut, scrolling through those travel pics thinking, I wish that were me?
It's easy to get caught up in that feeling. It's almost like we're programmed to think that travel is this luxury.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like this far off reward.
Yeah.
We have to earn.
Yeah. Through years of, hard work and sacrifice.
Right, sacrifice, yeah.
But what if there's a way to kind of shift that energy? Maybe there's a force that helps us bend reality.
I like where this is going.
And make those travel dreams a little more attainable.
Speaking of bending reality, today's deep dive is inspired by an article with a pretty interesting title.
Let's hear it.
It's called Channel Your Black Cat Energy to Manifest Foreign Country Travel.
Okay, now before anyone starts thinking we've gone full woo-woo, I promise we're going to break down the psychology.
Yes, the science behind all of this.
And these ideas.
Because when we dig a little deeper, it's really about using our minds and our actions to shape our reality. It might sound a little out there, but there really is a lot of research that shows our thoughts and beliefs can influence our experiences.
Absolutely.
Even when it comes to something like, big and complex as international travel.
You got it.
So let's talk black cat energy.
All right.
What does that even mean?
Well, the article uses the black cat as the symbol of mystery, independence, and sort of this quiet power.
Interesting.
It's about being okay with the unknown.
Okay.
Trusting your gut. And, not being afraid to go after what you want, even if it seems a little, unconventional.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to break free from the expectations.
Yeah.
Create your own path.
And this leads perfectly into, I think, the first key concept from the article, which is visualization. We all daydream about those perfect vacations, but this goes way beyond just letting your mind wander.
Right. It's about engaging all of your senses and creating this vivid mental picture of yourself experiencing that trip.
Imagine the sights, the sounds, the smells, even the emotions.
I love that.
You're going to feel.
So powerful.
And here's the cool part. Neuroscientific research suggests that when we visualize something, our brains actually activate similar neural pathways.
Whoa, really?
As if we were actually experiencing it.
So you're telling me that by just imagining myself sipping a cappuccino, in a Parisian cafe.
Yeah.
My brain is basically getting a little taste of the real thing.
It's kind of like mental rehearsal, right?
That's incredible.
Yeah, you're priming your brain to recognize and seize opportunities that are related to your goal. And even more interesting, studies show that visualization can actually improve performance.
Oh, wow.
In lots of areas, from sports to public speaking.
So if it works for athletes and, TED Talk speakers, why not apply it to manifesting our dream trip?
Exactly.
It's like giving our subconscious a little sneak peek of the amazing experiences that are waiting for us. And then in turn, it starts working behind the scenes to make it happen.
The article actually suggests dedicating 5 minutes each morning to visualizing your dream trip. And don't just passively picture it, really feel yourself there, right?
Yeah.
Walking those streets, trying new foods, having conversations with locals. The more real you can make it, the stronger the impact.
I'm adding this to my morning routine. 5 minutes of mental travel to Italy.
There you go.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
But what about the more practical side of things? Visualizing is great, but eventually we do have to face reality.
Sure.
Budgets, logistics, all those, pesky details.
Of course. And this brings us to the next point, which is all about embracing uncertainty. And this is where that black cat energy really comes in.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Right. Black cats, they're often connected to mystery and the unknown.
Yeah.
And the article really pushes this idea that it's a quality we need to develop if we want to make our travel dreams come true.
So instead of getting bogged down with the what ifs, feeling like we need to have every little detail figured out before we even book a flight, we need to be a bit more, dare I say, spontaneous.
Exactly. Now, I'm not saying throw caution to the wind and book a one-way ticket to some random island with zero planning.
Right.
But there's a difference between, being responsible and being paralyzed by fear. Sometimes we just have to be willing to take that leap of faith, to set a date, book that flight.
Yeah.
Even if we haven't figured out every single detail.
This is speaking to me on a personal level because I'm a planner by nature.
I hear you.
But some of my most memorable travel experiences came about Because I was willing to be a little bit impulsive to embrace the unknown and see where it led me.
Totally.
Remember that time we ended up in that tiny village in the mountains?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All because we missed our train.
That was a good one. And think about the science behind it, right? When we step outside of our comfort zones, take those calculated risks, our brains, they release dopamine. It's that neurotransmitter associated with like pleasure and reward.
I'll take some of that.
So it's like our brain is giving us a little high five for being brave, pushing those boundaries.
Love that.
And that dopamine rush, it actually encourages us to be more creative.
Oh, wow.
More problem-solving oriented.
So basically, by being a little adventurous, we're not just creating these amazing travel memories.
Right.
We're actually training our brains to be more adaptable, more resilient.
And it all goes back to this idea of manifestation, When we set a date, even if we don't have all the answers, it's like we're sending this signal to our subconscious mind that we're serious about this goal. And once our subconscious is on board, it starts working to help us find solutions.
Oh, I like that.
To make connections, and even to attract opportunities we might not have even noticed before.
So instead of getting overwhelmed by everything we don't know, we can focus on that one concrete step, setting a date.
Yeah.
And trust that the universe or our subconscious, or maybe just our own resourcefulness will help us figure out the rest.
It's about shifting our mindset from fear and lack to possibility and abundance. And that brings us to, I think, a truly powerful concept, gratitude.
Okay, gratitude. I'm all about being thankful, but how does that tie into, I don't know, manifesting a trip to like Japan?
Gratitude, it's more than just saying thank you,
Right.
It's about actively choosing to appreciate what we already have.
Okay.
And being grateful for those opportunities that are already in our lives.
And what's the science behind this? Does gratitude actually have a real impact on our brains, our behavior?
It does. Researchers at Harvard, they found that practicing gratitude actually rewires our brains for positivity and resilience.
Wow.
When we focus on what we're grateful for, even the small stuff, it shifts our perspective from what we lack to what we have.
So instead of stressing about, I don't know, not having enough money for a trip, I could be grateful for the comfortable bed I sleep in, the coffee I had this morning, even just having the internet to research potential destinations.
Exactly. It's about finding those little pockets of joy in everyday life and letting them, kind of expand.
And the key is that when we cultivate gratitude, we become more open to receiving more good things. It's like we're sending a signal out to the universe. Hey, I appreciate what I have, and I'm ready for more.
I love that.
Okay, I was starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
We're talking about shifting from scarcity to abundance, from fear to possibility. We're using visualization to prime our brains for success.
Right.
Embracing uncertainty to open ourselves up to new opportunities. And cultivating gratitude to attract more good things into our lives.
And the exciting thing is that this applies to way more than just travel. These are tools and techniques that can help us manifest any goal, career change, a new relationship, or just like a more joyful, fulfilling life. It all starts with changing our inner world.
So it's not about like magic spells or wishing on shooting stars. It's about understanding the power of our own minds and using that power to create what we want.
Absolutely.
And speaking of power, the article also delves into this idea of lucky breaks.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like that saying, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Love it. Some people might say that luck is totally random.
Yeah.
But psychologist Richard Wiseman, he's done fascinating research that suggests otherwise.
Oh, interesting.
He actually found that people who consider themselves lucky, they aren't necessarily more fortunate.
Okay.
They're just better at noticing and seizing opportunities.
So it's not about waiting for a magical stroke of luck. It's about actively putting ourselves out there to encounter those opportunities and then having the awareness to see them.
Exactly. And this ties back into the black cat, right?
Oh, yeah.
In some cultures, they're seen as symbols of good luck. Maybe it's not about the cat itself, but about what it represents. Awareness, intuition, and that willingness to embrace the unexpected.
That reminds me of that time I found those crazy cheap flights to Iceland.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I randomly decided to check the airline's website.
Just on a whim.
If I hadn't been open to that, I would totally missed out.
Exactly. And the article emphasizes being proactive. Sign up for newsletters, follow those travel accounts, connect with people who've been to your dream destination.
It's all about putting yourself out there.
Yeah. You never know what piece of information or connection might lead to that, lucky break.
It's like we're creating our own luck by expanding our awareness and being open to the possibilities that are already around us.
I love that.
And speaking of possibilities, let's talk about a topic that can be a bit controversial, especially for us women, the idea of selfish manifestation.
Oh, yeah, this is a really important point. For many of us, especially women, we're often conditioned to put others' needs before our own. The idea of going after our own goals, especially travel goals, can feel
Selfish, yeah.
selfish or indulgent.
It's almost like we have to apologize for wanting something for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we need to justify why we deserve to take time for ourselves and pursue our own passions.
Exactly. And that internalized guilt can be a huge roadblock.
Totally.
But, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi...
Try saying that 3 times fast.
I know, right? He's a well-known psychologist who's done tons of research on flow states.
Okay.
Those moments where you get totally absorbed and feel pure joy.
I love those.
Right. When you're engaged in something that, challenges you and brings you fulfillment.
So what do flow states have to do with travel and manifestation?
Well, his research suggests that following our passions, engaging in activities that bring us joy and challenge us to grow, actually benefit everyone around us.
Wait, are you saying that by taking that trip to, like, Nepal and hiking to Mount Everest Base Camp, which might seem selfish on the surface,
right,
I'm actually becoming a better, more fulfilled version of myself?
You got it.
And then that has a positive ripple effect on my relationships, my work, my community.
Exactly. When we invest in our own well-being, pursue things that give us purpose and joy, we come back to our everyday lives with new energy, creativity, and inspiration.
It's like a permission slip to dream big. To chase those travel dreams without the guilt, knowing that it's not just about indulging ourselves, it's about becoming our best self.
Precisely. That's a huge part of what the article is all about.
Okay.
Manifesting your travel dreams isn't about being selfish. It's about taking back your power, honoring your desires, and understanding that your personal fulfillment doesn't have to clash with being a good friend, partner, or family member.
I love how you're reframing this.
Yeah.
It's like understanding that taking care of ourselves, chasing our passions, experiencing the world, it's not selfish, it's self-love. It's self-discovery.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's a way to bring more joy and more abundance into every part of our lives.
And the article encourages us to own our aspirations, to tell ourselves, I deserve this, and let that belief drive our planning.
So we've covered a lot. We've talked about visualization, embracing uncertainty, gratitude, lucky breaks, and even, selfish manifestation.
We have. It's amazing how much psychology and science is at play when it comes to reaching our goals, especially travel goals, which can feel so out of reach sometimes.
Right.
But this article goes further, It gives 10 specific steps we can take to start making those travel dreams happen.
I love that. And what's so great is that they're not just random tips.
Right.
They're tied to the psychology we've been talking about.
Yeah.
It's like having a roadmap.
Exactly.
Taking these abstract ideas and turning them into concrete steps.
That's the key.
So we're not going to leave our listeners hanging with all this theory.
No way.
We're going to give them actionable things they can start using today.
Absolutely.
To make those travel dreams real.
There's no need to wait for the perfect time or everything to just magically fall into place. Even small things like those 5 minutes of visualization, setting a date for your trip, it can all start to shift your mindset.
I'm feeling inspired and empowered.
That's what we like to hear.
Before we dive into those action steps, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll break down each step.
Correct.
Give our listeners a clear roadmap to manifesting their own travel adventures.
Sounds good.
Okay, we're back, ready to dive into those 10 action steps that can really help you turn those travel daydreams into booked flights and, real experiences.
I love it. It's amazing how much power we have when we understand how our minds work.
It really is.
And how we can use those insights to, our advantage. So let's start with step 1, which, as we've touched on, is daily visualization.
Yes. We talked about this a bit earlier, but I think it's worth repeating.
Absolutely.
Because it's such a foundational practice. The article really emphasizes making it a non-negotiable part of your routine.
Yeah, like brushing your teeth, that first cup of coffee.
Exactly. 5 minutes every day dedicated to picturing yourself on that dream trip.
And it's important to go beyond just passive daydreaming. Really engage all of your senses.
Oh, I love that.
Imagine the sounds of the city you're exploring, smell of the spices in a marketplace, the taste of the local food, even like the feeling of the sand between your toes as you walk along the beach.
It's funny. I used to think visualization was just for like athletes or performers.
Yeah.
But the more I learn about the science, the more I realize it's a tool for anyone
Absolutely.
who wants to achieve a goal, whether it's running a marathon or finally booking that trip to, Machu Picchu.
It's about creating that neural pathway in your brain, making the experience feel, more familiar, more attainable.
Yeah.
And the more detail you can put into it, the more powerful the impact is going to be.
That makes sense. So don't just picture yourself in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
Imagine the breeze on your face, the sounds of the street musicians, the taste of the crepe you're eating.
Yeah.
As you're taking it all in.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely upping my visualization game. What's next on our list of action steps?
All right. So step number 2 is taking that visualization and making it a concrete goal, which means setting a date for your trip.
Okay, this is where things start to feel real.
Yeah.
Maybe a little scary for some of us who, tend to overthink.
Of course. But the article really emphasizes that picking a date, even if you don't have everything else figured out, creates this sense of urgency and structure.
Like it's happening.
Exactly. It's like the saying, a goal without a deadline is just a dream.
Ooh, I like that.
Right. By setting a date, you're shifting from the realm of maybe into taking action.
It becomes real.
Yeah, it forces you to start breaking down that big goal into smaller steps.
I can see how that would be so helpful. Even if it, feels a little intimidating at first.
Right.
It's like drawing a line in the sand saying, okay, this is happening. I'm committing to making this trip a reality.
And once you've got that date in mind, it's so much easier to plan backwards. Like, how much money do I need to save each month?
Yeah.
What are the flights like around that time?
Yeah, what do I want to actually do when I'm there?
Exactly. It gives you that framework to build on.
Okay, so we've got our visualization practice. We've set a date.
We're getting there.
And now it's time to talk about the, sometimes less glamorous side of travel. The budget.
Yeah, the budget.
This brings us to step 3. Creating a savings jar.
Now, this might seem super simple,
Right.
but it can be incredibly powerful.
Oh, for sure.
There's just something about physically seeing those savings grow,
Yeah.
It's very motivating.
Totally. The article suggests finding a jar or container specifically for your travel fund and just adding to it regularly, even if it's a small amount.
Every little bit helps.
This reminds me of when I was saving for my first solo trip after college. I had this big glass jar that I decorated with pictures and travel quotes.
Oh, that's cute.
And every time I got paid, I'd put a chunk of my earnings in that jar.
I love
It
that.
was like a ritual.
Yeah.
And it just felt so good to see that jar slowly filling up.
Exactly. It's like creating a visual reminder of your commitment,
Yeah.
and celebrating those small wins along the way.
Even if it's just a few dollars here and there, every little bit gets you closer.
You got it. And it's a great way to practice delayed gratification, too.
It really is. That's such a valuable
Yeah.
skill, especially in a world that's all about instant gratification.
It is. It's about understanding that the best things in life, sometimes they take time,
Patience and perseverance.
There you go.
Okay, so we've visualized, set a date, diligently filling up our savings jar. What's next?
All right. Step number 4 might seem a little out of left field,
Okay.
but it's about creating a sense of order and clarity in your physical space.
Okay.
The article talks about decluttering to, mirror the clarity you're seeking in your mind and travel plans.
This one really resonates with me because I don't know about you, but when my physical space is cluttered, my mind feels cluttered too.
Oh, 100%. It's like you can't think straight when you're surrounded by a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. Clutter bombards our brains with all this visual stimuli,
That makes sense.
making it hard to focus. So the article suggests taking some time to go through your stuff,
Okay.
get rid of what you don't need, and create a sense of space and order in your home.
I love that. It's like creating this blank canvas,
Yeah.
both physically and mentally, for your travel dreams to take shape.
And think about it. If you're going on a trip, you're going to pack a suitcase.
Right.
Imagine how much easier packing will be if you know exactly what you have.
Oh, that's a great point. Like pre-travel prep. And honestly, it just feels good to have a clean, organized space. It's like this weight lifted off your shoulders,
Totally.
which frees up more mental energy to focus on manifesting that trip.
Absolutely. Speaking of planning, step 5 is all about using the amazing tools we have, in this digital age. Technology.
Oh, yes.
Right. There are apps for everything.
Everything.
Finding flights, learning languages, exploring your destination virtually. It's amazing how much technology can, streamline our travel.
I'm all about using tech to make travel planning easier.
Yeah.
I just found this app that creates a personalized itinerary based on your interests and budget.
Oh, cool.
It's like having a personal travel agent in your pocket.
That's amazing. It's remarkable how tech has totally changed the way we travel. And it's not just about convenience.
Right.
It's about access.
Okay. Yeah.
It's empowering people who might not have had the resources or knowledge to plan these, big trips in the past, to now explore the world with confidence.
I love that. It's like breaking down barriers and making travel more accessible for everyone.
Exactly.
Which leads perfectly to step 6, which is tapping into community.
Yeah.
Joining travel communities.
Yeah. Right. Whether it's online forums, Facebook groups, even local meetups, connecting with other travelers can give you so much knowledge, tips, and support.
I've always found that connecting with like-minded people, especially when it comes to travel, is so inspiring.
Absolutely.
I remember when I was planning my first backpacking trip through Southeast Asia, I joined a bunch of online forums and Facebook groups, and it was amazing how much I learned from other travelers.
I bet.
Just from their experiences, their recommendations, even just their enthusiasm.
Energy, yeah.
And it's not just about gathering info. It's about feeling like you belong, like you're part of something.
Yeah, a shared purpose.
Connecting with people who understand that wanderlust,
Right.
that excitement for, new cultures and pushing your boundaries. Who knows? You might even meet your future travel buddy.
I love that.
Travel communities are such a good resource for support, inspiration, and practical advice.
For sure.
It's a great way to stay motivated and accountable to your travel goal.
Absolutely.
So we've got visualization, setting a date, saving, decluttering, using technology, and connecting with community. What's next on our action plan?
Okay, step number 7 is going deeper into that internal work. And that's where the manifestation journal comes in.
All right, so it's a bit more than just the gratitude journal we talked about earlier.
Exactly.
Not just listing things we're grateful for, but documenting our whole journey.
Yeah, think of it as a place to track your progress. Write down inspiring ideas, celebrate those wins.
Love it.
Even work through any doubts or fears that pop up.
It's like having a travel coach right there in your notebook.
Yeah, keeping you focused, motivated, and on track.
It's a tangible record of your growth.
Yeah.
And it reminds us that manifestation isn't just about external results. It's about that internal shift that happens along the way.
So true. Speaking of transformation, step number 8 might be a little unexpected.
Okay.
It's all about being mindful of the content we consume. The article calls it smart pop culture.
So we all love a good travel show or movie, but this is about more than just entertainment.
Right, it's about choosing content that actually inspires you, educates you,
Okay.
gives you practical insights, rather than just feeding unrealistic expectations
Right.
or promoting that mindless consumption.
So instead of just scrolling through Instagram and feeling bad, we can actively seek out documentaries, travel blogs, books that give a more grounded, authentic perspective.
You got it. And the key is to take action. Don't just passively consume, use it to fuel your own planning.
I love that.
Turn those tips into to-do list items.
Okay.
Research those destinations that catch your eye.
Yeah.
Let that inspiration guide your adventure.
This makes me think of a documentary I watched about a woman who quit her job
Oh, wow.
and biked solo across South America. It was so inspiring seeing her courage and her sense of adventure.
I bet.
It really made me rethink my own travel goals.
Yeah, what you're capable of.
Exactly. It's about finding those stories that resonate with you, challenge your limiting beliefs, and spark that sense of possibility.
Absolutely.
So we've got visualization, setting a date, saving, decluttering, technology, community, journaling, inspiring content. What's next?
Step number 9 is all about investing in yourself.
Okay.
Now, this might seem counterintuitive, right? When you're trying to save.
Yeah.
But it's recognizing that investing in your knowledge, your skills, can actually make your travel experience better.
Great.
And open up new possibilities.
So this could be anything from taking a language class,
Yeah.
attending a photography workshop, reading books about the history and culture of where you're going.
Exactly. It's about enriching your journey beyond just the logistics.
Yeah, make it more immersive, more meaningful.
And you never know, it could even lead to some unexpected opportunities or connections.
Oh, I love that. It's like understanding that travel is not just about the destination.
Right.
It's about the journey, the internal and the external. It's about expanding our horizons, learning new things, challenging ourselves to grow.
And those investments in ourselves, they often have benefits that go way beyond the trip. Yeah. The skills and knowledge we pick up can enrich our lives in so many ways.
Totally. Okay, we're down to our final action step. Building a vision board.
Ah, a classic.
A classic for a reason.
Right. There's something so powerful about creating a visual representation of your goal.
Mm-hmm.
The article suggests combining like quotes, images, affirmations that capture the essence of your dream trip.
I've always loved vision boards. It's like creating a tangible manifestation of your dreams.
Yeah.
A way to keep those travel goals top of mind and just infuse your everyday life with a little bit of that travel magic.
And make it personal, right? Don't just copy what you see online.
Right, make it your own.
Choose images, quotes, things that really speak to you, that evoke the feelings and experiences you want to have on your trip.
And the act of creating the vision board is powerful in itself, you know?
It is.
It's like we're sending this message out to the universe, to ourselves. Like, we are serious about making this happen.
Exactly. It's a great way to stay inspired and motivated throughout the process. When those doubts creep in, you look at your vision board and remember why you're doing this.
I love that.
Remember those experiences waiting for you, the personal growth, the joy and adventure you're creating for yourself.
Wow, we have covered a lot today.
We have.
Explored the psychology of manifestation, those 10 action steps, and even debunked some myths about luck and selfishness.
Yeah, it all goes back to that black cat energy, you know?
Yeah.
Embracing the unknown, trusting your gut, and taking action towards your dreams.
It's about understanding that we have the power, more than we realize, to shape our own reality.
Totally.
And by using these tools, we can make those travel dreams real.
Absolutely.
I'm so inspired, ready to take action. But before we wrap up, I want to hear your final thoughts on what all this means for our listeners, for those who are ready to ditch the daydreams and book those flights. We've talked about this idea of, channeling our black cat energy to manifest travel dreams, but it's not about like magic spells or anything.
No.
It's about mindset.
Mindset, yeah.
It's about taking action.
Action.
And a little bit of, clever psychology.
Exactly. It's realizing you have the power to create your own reality.
Yes.
Even when it's something as, maybe complicated and pricey as international travel.
I love that. It's so empowering to think we can actually influence things.
Absolutely.
By using these tools and techniques.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick one or two of the most impactful takeaways.
Yeah, good question.
What would they be for our listeners?
The power of visualization, for sure.
Okay, yeah.
Don't underestimate those 5 minutes every morning. Really immersing yourself in the sights, sounds, and feelings of your dream destination. It's like planting that seed in your subconscious and watching it grow.
And the second, if you had to pick a second one.
Embrace uncertainty, I'd say.
Okay, yeah.
Don't let the fear of the unknown hold you back.
Yeah.
Set that travel date. Even if you don't have everything figured out.
Yeah, just go for it.
Trust that the solutions will show up as you take those steps forward.
Okay, I have one final kind of provocative thought for our listeners.
Oh, I like these.
We talked about black cat energy.
Yeah.
But what does that really mean for you personally?
That's good.
What strengths or traits do you have that maybe you've overlooked or underestimated?
Yeah.
What's your secret superpower that you can tap into to make those travel dreams come true?
I love that. That's a fantastic question for everyone to think about. We all have those hidden strengths, those reserves of resilience. Maybe it's your creativity, your determination, your ability to connect with people, or your knack for finding those amazing deals. Whatever it is, embrace it. Let it be your guide as you step into the unknown and create the travel adventures you deserve.
I love that.
And
remember, even a small step like researching destinations, setting up that savings jar, or just letting yourself daydream a little bigger, it can all start to shift things.
Absolutely.
And make that dream trip feel more real. The world is out there, so go explore it.